Hello and welcome to Concordia On-Air. My name is Ingrid.
And my name is Magnar. And today's show?
In news, celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day.
In sports, games that went down to the wire.
And on A&E,
Open Mic Night and Tool's new album.
That and a lot more on Concordia On-Air.
starting to feel like fall outside finally.
Yes.
What do you like to do in the fall?
Well, I like to do it. Normally I will visit my family. But since I'm here now, I want to go to Minneapolis to visit the big city in Minnesota, sorry. And to see more about the US in general, actually. I want to visit Chicago as well and a lot of other cities, but it's only 1 week after all.
Yeah. This fall break, I'm going to go home and spend time with my family, which I'm really excited to do. In the fall, we like to go to pumpkin patches to get pumpkins to carve for Halloween, and we go to apple orchards. My family actually owns an apple orchard, so I'll probably go with them and pick some apples. It'll be fun. Do you carve pumpkins in Norway?
Yes, some do. But Halloween is not as big in Norway as in the US, obviously. There's in the US tradition, which have been implanted in most of Europe, but it's not that big. Yeah. But when I was a kid, we used to dress up and go around and ask for candy, trick and treat.
That's so fun. What other things do you do, do families do in the fall together in Norway?
Most of the families go to ski, like in Gol, Voss, and a lot of other places where you can ski.
Oh, fun.
Last year I went with some friends, not family, but we went to Gol. We were doing skiing and we're doing other stuff.
It seemed like last week, with all the snow that came, it seemed like we might be able to go skiing soon too.
Yes, I don't know where the snow went. It was so beautiful outside, and suddenly it just disappeared from my eyes.
I'm okay with that. I'm glad that it feels a little bit more like a typical fall. It's been nice. Yesterday I was on a run and I saw all these leaves falling, and it was just very, very pretty and very picturesque. Yeah,
it is very pretty. Especially when they change color and they just fall down, and it's also a sign that we begin to go into the colder months, unfortunately.
No, I don't like to think that far ahead. I'll just focus on the pretty leaves for now. But yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of fall is all the leaves falling, and walking through the crunchy leaves. I just think is a lot of fun.
So, what is your best memory about the fall?
About the fall? Probably going on runs with my cross-country team every fall. Just the team bonding that we did in the fall, doing fun things together. What's yours?
My best memory must be with family and friends, to be honest. Especially when I'm here now, is think more about that. But we have some good moments. We were often traveling. We're traveling to different places where we go to hotels and do stuff like skiing, or we do family things together and water parks.
Very nice.
Yes.
Now on to news.
Hello, I'm Elise.
And I'm Andrew. New York may be closing Rikers Island, according to a newly introduced plan that would make several significant changes to the state's prison system. Rikers Island has become notorious for the abuse and mismanagement that has been present there, raising protests to close the facility. The new plan, which the city is expected to approve of at its next meeting this Thursday, brings an overhaul of changes which would replace Rikers with 4 smaller prisons that focus on job training, mental health support, and education services. Although this plan has been applauded by most, the changes wouldn't go into effect until 2026, meaning that the future mayor and council must continue to carry along the project. Despite these obstacles, the plan is feasible and likely to have a positive impact on this community.
On Tuesday, October 15th, multiple campus organizations, including the new Muslim Student Association, came together to host a panel called Meet Your Muslim Neighbor, Stories of Faith, Peace, and Prejudice. The panel consisted of Islamic students, faculty, and community members who were passionate about creating understanding and compassion through interfaith dialogue. During the 2-hour-long discussion, the panel members shared their personal definitions of what Islam means to them and described the experience of living out their religion in the FM area. The panel expressed a shared belief that Islam encourages social justice and service to humanity, as well as reflecting upon the idea that no religion is homogeneous. Overall, they would like to encourage students to expand their community to other religions and cultures through conversation and open-mindedness.
A typhoon hit Japan on Saturday, leaving thousands of homes flooded, without power, or damaged. The official death toll has been measured at 63, and at least 200 people were injured because of Typhoon Hagibis. Now that the floodwaters have begun to recede, the emergency effort is shifted from first aid to cleanup as more damage is revealed. The government's announced that it will provide nearly $7 million in funding to help facilitate the evacuation caused by the rising river levels. However, it does not yet know the full extent of the damage. The state said that it would be open to spending more if necessary. This event marks a historic rainfall for Japan and one of the more devastating weather incidents in recent memory.
On October 14th, communities across the U.S. celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day, a holiday commemorating the histories and cultures of Native Americans. Here in Moorhead, the city recognized a newly formed holiday for the first time. The celebration began in City Hall with a purification ceremony called smudging, involving Native Americans and non-natives alike. Afterwards, a reconciliation prayer service was held at Concordia, and cultural competency training course was given at Fargo's City Hall. Finally, the celebration ended with dinner and a powwow at Moorhead High School. The powwow was led by Audra Stonefish, a worker at the Fargo Gladys Race Shelter, where she helps Indigenous people reclaim their identity and feel welcome to express their cultures. For her work, she was awarded the Gladys Ray Indigenous Peoples Day Award, which she received recognition for during Monday's celebration.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz recently appointed 2005 Concordia graduate Jade Rosenfeld to a district court judgeship. After graduating Concordia, Rosenfeld attended law school at the University of North Dakota and went on to practice law for over 11 years, working in cases dealing from real estate to Title IX to business litigation and many more. Now Rosenfeld will occupy a seat in the 7th Judicial District in the Becker-Otter-Tail counties. She's credited her time at Concordia, stating that her education in sociology helped her see how to make a difference in the world.
This weekend, a Texas woman was fatally shot by a police officer in her own home. The police arrived at the house of Atatania Jefferson, a 28-year-old black pre-med grad, at 2 a.m. after receiving a call from a concerned neighbor about the front door being left open. Jefferson was playing a video game with her 8-year-old nephew at the time, but went to investigate after hearing noises outside. As shown in Officer Aaron Dean's body cam footage, the officer saw Jefferson through a window and yelled for her to put her hands up before firing the fatal shot, failing to identify himself as a police officer. While a handgun was found in the home, it is unclear what role, if any, it played in the shooting. Officer Dean has since resigned from his position and is now being charged with murder. Now, onto an interview with Dr. Don Rice.
So, welcome Dr. Don Rice. So registration is coming up after fall break, so I'm here today with Don. So can you tell me about courses and majors for people interested in media and communication?
Okay. Yeah, so we've got a lot of things on deck here for next semester, a lot of interesting things, both in the media area and in communication in general. And I'll just be able to talk about a few of them. But for example, we have a couple of courses that are 2-credit courses that actually line up so the students go right across at 2:40 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the first one is called Audio Production, and that's taught by Dr. Greg Carlson. And that includes all kinds of things, working with sound in film, also talking about radio, interviewing and things like that. And also lately he's been having them work with podcasting too, which is something that's really attractive to students. And then the second course is taught by Matt O'Lean, and that's called Broadcast Performance. And Matt O'Lean is a 30-plus year veteran of broadcasting, much of that time spent at Prairie Public Television, but also radio. So he teaches people everything about what we're doing, right, in front of the camera kinds of activities. And he's also got a lot of really good connections and just a lot of good experience. And so we're really encouraging students to sign up for these two classes.
So yes, if you want to do broadcast and you want connection, this fall's class is going to be a really good class to be in then.
Yeah, so one of the things that we try to do is we try to have as many people with media backgrounds teach as much as possible. So sometimes that's somebody in the community like Matt, or sometimes it's somebody that we have on faculty. So another course that's up in the spring is broadcast writing and reporting, which is being taught by Najla Amundsen. And Najla is one of our speech coaches now, and she also teaches intercultural and a variety of other courses, but her early background was in broadcasting. When I first came here, she was the main anchor at WDAY television, and she's worked in PR and all of those things. So she is going to be teaching that class, and I think people are going to really like it, and that's going to flesh out our offerings in the journalism area. So
that's cool to hear.
Yeah.
So if there are probably people out there who are thinking maybe media and communication is the thing for me, but they're not sure what they're looking for.
Yeah.
What ideas do you have to them?
So what I would say is that there are some lower level courses that they might take, and some of those are courses that would count in the core anyways. So one of those would be when I'm going to be teaching in the spring, which is COM 111, Intro to Communication Studies. And the reason that's a good one for somebody just thinking about this is it counts for a social science core area, but it also is kind of an overview of everything in the major, right? So you get a little taste of what intercultural communication is like. You get a taste of interpersonal, group, media, rhetoric, those kinds of things. And so I think that's one way to find out if this area is attractive to you. And then there are also some other courses that directly in the media that are lower level courses. They're not all offered next semester, but there's a new media course that Greg Carlson is teaching, and that's another good one for people to kind of check out that area.
Do you need any past experience by high school? Any like media or other experience?
No, you don't. You don't have to. I mean, that's kind of generally true of our activities and our classes. There's not a lot of prerequisites for them. I mean, there are some, but all of our activities, most of our courses, you don't have to have any particular background to take.
Okay. So I have another question for you. So how long have you actually been working here on Concordia On-Air?
Okay, so I've been at the college this is my 32nd year, and I've worked with On-Air and with the radio station for most of that time, not quite all of it. There was a little back and forth at the beginning there, but most of the time. So it's been a while. Yeah. So.
Thank you so much for coming here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes. Have a good day. Now over to news.
Aloha, sports fans. I'm Grant.
And I'm Dom.
And the Cobber volleyball team dropped a tough one last Saturday against St. Mary's by a score of 3-2. Concordia started the night hot, taking the first two games by scores of 25-23 and 25-15. But St. Mary's came back to win the next two games, 25-14 and 25-18. And the Cardinals managed to take Game 5, 15-5, to take down Concordia and complete the reverse sweep. This loss drops the Cobbers to 5-15 overall this season and 2-3 in the MIAC. Kendra Wiggs, Brianna Carney, and Gabby DeBoer each had 5 blocks, giving Wiggs a season total of 86 blocks, which is currently second best in the MIAC. Carney now has 85, which puts her in third. The Cobbers will start a 5-match homestand this Saturday against Augsburg at 3 p.m.
The Cobber football team celebrated homecoming this year with a snowmecoming game against Gustavus last Saturday. Concordia jumped out to an early 14-0 lead with a pair of touchdowns in the first quarter, but Gustavus answered 14 unanswered points in the second quarter to tie the game heading into halftime. The game continued to be a back-and-forth battle, with Concordia scoring a touchdown to take a 28-27 lead with only 68 seconds left in the game, only for Gustavus to shock the home crowd with a 77-yard passing touchdown to give the Gusties a 35-28 victory. Gustavus found their success passing with 405 passing yards, while the Cobbers got all their 228 yards from rushing. This loss brings the Cobbers' overall record to 2-4 and conference record to 2-2. The Cobbers will look to break their two-game losing streaks next Saturday when they host Bethel.
The men's soccer team faced off against 13-1 Simpson College last Saturday in their last non-conference game of the season. Simpson jumped out to an early 2-0 lead in the first half, but a pair of goals from Concordia's Nate Weaver and Sam Guess, just 56 seconds apart from one another in the last 6 minutes to play, allowed the Cobbers to hold on to secure a tie with regionally ranked Simpson. The tie also gives Concordia an unbeaten record in non-conference play this year at 6-0-2. With his 14th goal of the season, Sam Guess also moves to within 2 goals of the single-season record for Concordia's men's soccer, as well as putting him 9 points shy of the points record. The men are now 8-3-2 this season and will play St. Thomas tonight at Fargo Shanley High School.
The Cobber women's soccer team lost an overtime nail-biter to number 19 ranked St. Thomas 1-0 yesterday. Concordia only managed to get one of their 2 shots on goal, while goalkeeper Lexi Gemtrude did her best to save the team, keep her team in the game, saving all 5 shots on goal St. Thomas had before she had to leave the game in the 87th minute after colliding with an attacking player. The lone goal in the game came in the 110th minute off a corner kick for the Tommies, which gave Concordia their second straight overtime loss. The Cobbers are now 8-6 on the season and 1-6 in the MIAC. They hope to get back to winning at St. Mary's this Saturday. Now, on to an interview from the hosts.
I'm here today with Sid Stock from the Student Environmental Alliance here at Concordia. Thank you for joining me today,
Yeah,
Sid.
definitely. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So what is the Student Environmental Alliance?
So our club started in actually 1997. It was just founded by a bunch of students who wanted to strive for a more sustainable campus and integrate sustainability into the curriculum and the infrastructure and everything like that.
Very, very cool. What do you do in C?
So over the past couple of years, we have worked with organizations, research organizations like MPIRG. We've done work with Toxic Taters, that was working to get some of the nasty chemicals out of the crops around the area. A couple different action-oriented projects over the past couple of years, tree plantings, but then we also have discussion-based meetings and things like that throughout the semester.
Very, very cool. So what is your position in C?
So I'm the co-president with Ellie DeVos as the other co-president.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, as
Okay.
co-president, what does that role entail?
So you'll just apply with a group of other students who are super passionate about sustainability, and myself and Ellie, because we had 2 presidents last year, and we completely switched out this year because they both graduated, and just organizing the meetings and making sure students are engaged and excited about the things we're working on.
Why is it important for students at Concordia to be environmentally conscious?
Well, I don't know how political I can get, but I mean, we are just striving to do our part on campus to eliminate or become more carbon neutral, just helping out the community, becoming more environmentally friendly, and just making the student body more aware of sustainability.
Awesome. What is like the biggest thing that a Concordia student can do to be environmentally aware and environmentally friendly, like in their day-to-day life?
Right. So the President's Sustainability Council currently is working on implementing a sort of campaign, like an awareness campaign, to work towards our climate action plan. That campaign will be starting really soon, over the next couple months. So looking into that, talking to Jackie Moss, our sustainability coordinator, joining SEA, just making sure you are always looking out for those recycling signs and things like that, turning your lights off. Yep.
Awesome. What kind of events is the Student Environmental Alliance planning in the near future?
Right now, yeah. So over the past couple years, we haven't really split up into committees just because our presidents were stretched pretty thin in the past. But Ellie and I are working to make our club more action-oriented. So we split up into subcommittees, and we are going to be doing like tabling and things like that. We'll be doing some more other action things. So yeah, just like making students more aware of the environmental impacts Concordia's campus has. We'll be working to make the campus a more bee-friendly, pollinator-friendly campus. Those are just some of the projects we have in mind.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, Sid.
Yeah, thank you.
Now on to A&E.
Hi, I'm KJ.
And I'm Gabe.
Welcome to A&E. The CEC will be hosting an open night mic tomorrow from 10 to 11 p.m. down in the maze. They invite students to come sing a song they would love to sing, recite some poetry, or tell some jokes. So if you have an amazing singing voice, love to tell jokes, or want to show off your amazing talents, stop on down tomorrow night at the maze. So, Gabe, have you ever performed in an open night mic before?
I don't think that I have. I've considered it before, but I've got a brother actually, an older brother who's very musical, so I've been kind of around sort of smaller gigs, I guess, and things like that. You know, he's played a lot of music in like bars, that sort of thing, back in my hometown. How about you?
I've never performed at an open night mic. I don't know if I would. I'm a little shy when it comes to those things.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I think it takes a bit of courage to get up there and then just, and also, you know, you gotta know all the words to a song or something. Or does it work like karaoke? Do you know if they have lyrics scrolling anywhere, or is it
I don't think they do. I think you need to come a little bit prepared, but they might. Okay. I've never gone to one, so I wouldn't necessarily know. But if you were to go to this one, what would you perform and why?
Oof. I don't know. There's a lot of songs that I like, but not very many of them that I could probably sing. I suppose it probably wouldn't be, it'd probably have to be something like I don't know if you've ever heard Swing Life Away by Rise Against. I really like that song. That's kind of a cliche one for that band. I'm a fan of that band. That's one of the more mellow songs of the music that I'm into, so I think that would probably be it for me, if I had to pick one right off the top of my head at least. How about you?
I think I'd actually tell some jokes because I'd rather do comedy than sing in front of people.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, let's move on to Tool. Grammy award-winning progressive rock band Tool has recently released their first new album in 13 years after their 2006 album, 10,000 Days. Fans have been anticipating a new album for the last few years and are finally happy to be able to hear what the band has been working on for so long. The album, titled Fear Inoculum, is a whopping 86 minutes long, consisting only of the usual 10 songs. Upon its release, it has been met with critical acclaim as well as praise from the fans. Although the album has also received some criticism in comparison to Tool's earlier music. Since it came out, Fear Inoculum managed to hit the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 around mid-September, with 270,000 albums sold. Along with the release of the new album, Tool has also permanently released their other music to digital download platforms and streaming services such as iTunes and Spotify for the first time in the band's history, a move that's sure to capture new fans and reinvigorate old ones. So, KJ, to start off, have you heard any music from Tool before?
I've heard a couple of songs from their newest album.
What'd you think?
They're pretty interesting. They're not exactly my type, but it kind of reminds me of like in a sci-fi movie or like video games, like the music that they have playing in the background.
Yeah, I think I think they can definitely give off that vibe sometimes. They have a lot of long songs, especially I think this is actually their longest album now that they've just come out with. So I've actually been a fan of the band since probably 7th grade when I was first introduced to them. So I think it's been really cool with this new album coming out, especially because there was a lot of speculation over if they would ever release another album again, because it had been over a decade. So have you heard any of their older music at all, or no?
No, I haven't necessarily, but I think if people liked it, they should try to listen to it.
Me too. All right, and now over to the hosts.
My name is Leah McCracken Anderson, and I am the Circulation ILL Manager at the library, and I'm also one of the co-coordinators on the Green Office team in the library.
We ask cobbers what they do on a regular basis to be sustainable.
Sure, yeah, I do practice different things on a daily basis. One of those things is recycling. Another thing that I do is take short showers.
On a daily basis? Well, I drink coffee or tea every morning, and I usually make that at home with a reusable K-cup container, because I know the plastic is really not the best for the environment.
Well, my husband and I recycle as much as we possibly can. Yeah. I take the bus to work about 90% of the time. Students, faculty, staff on Concordia can ride the bus for free with our IDs, so I make use of that.
That's a lot of good sustainability. But what does the library do?
When we decide to take a book out of our collection, we box them up and we send them to Better World Books on a pallet, which is more efficient than sending box by box through UPS. And then Better World Books will take them and sell them on Amazon or eBay. And the portion of those proceeds that the library would normally get goes towards PAC Codes, which is an organization that builds libraries in Africa that was started by cobbers. So Green Office is something that the sustainability coordinator has set up on campus, and if you meet the criteria, I believe there's the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. There are no offices that are currently platinum, and only one, I believe, that's in gold. Most are bronze. There's 13, I think. And it's just, we've started more sustainability practices. I think that there's just a push on campus in general to be sustainable, and we want to push ourselves even further. Currently, we're at the bronze level for our green office, and we would like to be at the silver by the end of the year and working towards gold and platinum.
It really is the little things that are going to save our planet. This has been Caleb Stiles and Tiara May with Concordia On-Air.
Thank you so much for watching Concordia On-Air. See you after fall break. Goodbye.